Well, how do you do there? This is another update on buying a 172. Or wait, did I misspeak? No, I was doing an update on a 182, but I actually accidentally bought a 172. The Cessna 172 is probably my least favorite airplane that I wanted to buy. And I bought one. Hold on, don't cuss me. Okay, so this is something a little bit different. I didn't know anything about this airplane until a few weeks ago. Okay, so this is a P172, Cessna called it the Powermatic. This is a 1963 Cessna 172. The difference is this 172 is under the type certificate of the 175. So if anybody knows any history on Cessnas, Cessna came out in with the 175 to be a go-between between the 172 and the 182. They had a lot of problems with the GO300. They took the 0300, they put a gearbox in it, like this has, and they turned the RPMs up on that to create 175 horse. That engine was one of the worst engines that Cessna Continental ever built. But to back up a little bit, it wasn't necessarily the engine, it was the people operating it. Kind of an interesting deal, because that engine turns at 3,200 RPMs versus 2,600 RPMs, the regular 0300. What people were doing is they were pulling the engine RPMs down. That engine was designed to run at 3,200 RPMs. People would lug that engine down and try to run it at 2,600 RPMs. And what would happen is it's a small displacement, 300 cubic inch, and it would just overwork that engine, and they would create excessive heat, burn out the cylinders, and whatever. The other thing is, with the gearbox in there, with that gearbox, one thing you cannot do is use that propeller as a brake. You never want the air pushing against that propeller. You want that thing pulling the whole time, because you got that little bit of gear play in there, and you don't want that thing sitting there chattering back and forth, okay? So you want that propeller pulling the whole time. Oh, did I mention it has a constant speed propeller on it? Another thing that they went out. So that engine kind of ruined the reputation of the Cessna 175s. So what Cessna did is they tried to revamp it, and they came out with a P model. They discontinued the 175 in 1962, and they came out with the second model, the P172, in 1963, under the certificate of the 175 to try to put a reboost into it. Okay, that engine, that's not just the 0300, and they slapped a gearbox on it. It has heavier cylinders on it to take the extra RPMs, the extra thumping. So it's a heavier cylinder. The normal cylinders will bolt right up to that. Not recommended. The other thing is, don't use the same pistons. There's a different piston in there. Heavier connecting rods, and then they balance the crankshaft to take the RPMs. It wasn't just a slap together model that Cessna did. They designed that engine to run at 3,200 RPMs. The other thing that this airplane has is it has larger fuel tanks. Just like the 175s, they're running more RPMs than the GO300 over the 0300. So this has 52 gallons of gas in it versus 39 gallons in the regular 172. Now, this one, they have aluminum fuel tanks in it, okay? Aluminum fuel tanks. We're not dealing with the bladders like the 182s I was looking at. You don't have to worry about a lineman running that nozzle into the bottom of that fuel bladder and puncturing a hole in it. So, kind of interesting. Okay, this one has the Horton Stoll kit on it. That was added on in the early 90s. The airplane itself has 2,600 total airframe hours on it. There's 800 hours on a major overhaul, and 300 hours on 3 cylinders and 50 hours on the other 3 cylinders. Has a stole fence that the Horton kits come with. Also that drooping wingtip. That's also part of the Horton stole package. Okay, so then the other thing is the tail group. It's a slanted tail. I didn't want the slanted tail, but it came with it. The other thing is the elevator is a larger elevator than the 172. This P model has larger tail surfaces than a regular 172 does. What else? Oh, a baggage door right here. The 75s had this. The 172 did not have this. So a nice little baggage area. 150 pounds of baggage area. The other thing is, this airplane, 2,500 pound gross weight. The 172, 2,300 pound gross weight. The 182s I was looking at, this has a better useful load. This has a 980 pound useful load. This is can lift more weight than the 182s I was looking at. On paper, on paper I was looking at the early model 182s. The early 182s I was looking at were at 2,650 gross weight. This is 2,500, and this one's weighing in at 1,510 pounds. The other thing is the airframe is just really clean on here. And I opened up an inspection hole. You got to take a look at this. I don't know if we're going to see it. You can just see all around in there. Very clean, very clean. I was really impressed. You look in the landing lights there. Just see how clean it is down in there. So, let's see. Right there. It's a P172. Original interior, not too bad looking, quite clean. Roof liner's a little bit droopy, I guess. Everything's original. Everything's kind of original in here. Nothing fancy, right? It's got a nice grab handle for the flaps. 40 degrees flaps. Yeah. So manifold pressure, our propeller, RPMs. So what Cessna did, they were dealing with a problem with people not running that engine fast enough. What they ended up doing was running the RPMs off the propeller. So it was driven off of that so people wouldn't operate it wrong. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Pretty clean airframe. Very impressed with the performance of it. The acceleration is crazy because it actually has an 84-inch propeller on it. And when that thing is flat, you give that the beans, man, it's going. It has incredible takeoff performance. I only have about 15 hours in it, and it's running right around 300 feet on takeoff distance. Landing distance is really short. I hope to get a little more proficient at that. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm going to be probably posting more videos of it, probably flying videos, I'm hoping, as time goes on. But kind of an interesting airplane on the engine and everything. We'll see how that works out. There's probably going to be more questions on that as we go on, but I don't know what else to say. I guess as we go on, if you like seeing what you're watching, please subscribe, like it. I like the like button, and click that little bell on the side up there in the corner there or wherever, because it's down there. But hit that, and adios.